Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Sir Yeetus, back-to-back streams. I'm here to give you a good topic today, a great topic. Okay, because like I always said before, I tend to think about the topics on the spot if I feel like talking about it. And I saw a short clip from E-Man67. Shout out to E-Man. If you don't know who he is, go check out his channel. But I saw a clip where these two ladies were very optimistic, very confident, which we all know that they're lying, right? Very confident that nice guys always win in the end. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, no, the fuck, nice men do not. Hell no. If nice men actually won in the end, there will be no such thing as the Warband. There will be no such thing as Red Pill, Black Pill, MGTOW creators on all these platforms. Okay, so yeah, so that was a lie. Okay, and on top of that, they snitched on themselves on multiple occasions on things that channels like mine speak about all the time, right? All the time, all the time. But they like to use those sweet, nice little words to soften the blow of pretty much they're going to be waiting for the nice guys when they're used up and tossed aside by Chad and Tyrone. And they don't want to take care of their kids. So now she's a single mother. And they're looking for that nice guy, and because of her ego, right? Because of her pride, her overvaluing herself. She believes that she's still the prize. She believes that he, the nice guy, still wants something valuable in the end, which is definitely not the case. Okay, and I know you guys pretty much know about that. Oh, there goes On Deck Chronic invading the chat. What's going on Deck Chronic? Look at that. Look. The ultimate model, Puniti. But before we begin and we get into details about the nice guys, because me personally, and you guys know as well, nice guys lose. Nice guys always lose. Okay, don't get me wrong. There's always going to be nice guys out there. It is what it is, and we call them simps, right? Simps that has not woken up from the brainwashing that they had since birth, right? Them, the mothers, female family members, the media, etc., telling these men, "Hey, you're supposed to treat women like this, treat them like queens, treat them like they're the best goddamn thing on planet Earth and beyond." But they're not getting the results that they were promised, right? They treated these women like Cleopatra, what's it called, Beyonce, Queen of England, like Queen Elizabeth. Treated them like the best thing, but for some reason they're not getting the response that they were promised. In fact, they're getting the exact opposite. In fact, they're on the losing end. But in the end, you see these women, especially on these social platforms, like just keep trying, you'll find the one. Keep trying, keep trying. See, they want you to keep trying because after they had their little fun in their 20s, they're looking for nice guys in their 30s to go and pick up the mess, clean up the mess that she made. So, but before I add in gray, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus and the Warband, there's 2 links on top of the chat. You can donate to PayPal.me/Sir Yeetus or Cash App/Sir Yeetus. Okay? Any donation is definitely appreciated. If you can't donate, I don't care, as long as you're able to come here and listen to what we got to say, because the message is more important. All right, let me start inviting people right now. Gray, what's going on?
Evening Warband. Ooh, this one.
How was your
There's
Sunday?
it's been a little nutty, but like the past couple of weeks have been a little nutty. So
It's very understandable, man. I'm able to take a breather, right? Like things start to calm down for me, but I know sometimes things are just nonstop. It feels like it never ends.
yeah, but good news is gotta start to get a little bit of a coding project back up and running. So should have some interesting content on that end, hopefully soon.
And either Hermit, will the super chat option ever come back? Yes, I officially got all that verification stuff out the way, right? Because anybody that ever had to deal with getting monetized, you know what I'm talking about. All right, it's like 20 different steps you have to do in order to be fully monetized. So yeah, expect the super chats to come back tomorrow, for sure. But when it comes to this nice guy thing, right? What is your overall summary on that, so we can just go off from there?
Well, I guess it's funny because I think like when you're looking for this kind of example in nature, one would kind of think of the cuttlefish mating strategy, where the smaller males effectively pretend to be females or docile so that they can get close enough to the females that are protected by the alpha and like impregnate them covertly. So that's where the kind of beta male behavior comes from in nature, this idea of like being the side piece. But the problem is like these women, they're not looking for the docile nice guy while they're with the alpha. They're like by saying nice guys finish last, they are effectively saying the nice I will go for a nice guy, by which they mean a man that is willing to serve me later in life. But it's necessity. They're making their necessity a virtue. They're only doing that because they can no longer get chat. Like if these women perpetually remained 18, they would never ever bother with a nice guy. They would just trade up to the alpha Chad and become a part of the harem.
Oh yeah, if they can forever stay young, they will. Majority of the male population will die out. Like it will be a good amount of genes not being passed on.
Well,
If the alpha, because once again, right, like if she's able to stay forever young, her standards will be forever high. So all these women will go for that. What's it called? Chad and Tyrone, and depending on how fast Chad and Tyrone can be going from girl to girl to girl to girl to girl to girl, you know, it all depends on that, right? And
yeah.
we're just talking about in nature sense, or are we going to add society?
Well, that's the thing. When we get into the societal aspect,
Right.
that's when things get more complicated because nice guys like finishing last, being the husbands like that are the cleanup men, like the Captain Save-A-Hose, that is largely what keeps society functioning. And that's why we're seeing so much of shit break down, because now for the first time in well, at the very least a century, if not longer, men en masse are going, you know what? I'm worth more than this. And we're already seeing the consequences with the relatively small population as it is. Like, if women didn't go for nice guys later in life and the burden for supporting them entirely fell to the alpha chads, like, you'd see society fall apart because society cannot thrive on the labor of the tiny, tiny percentage of alpha chads alone.
Right. And also the alpha chads, similar to when the young women are able to get all the best male society has to offer, the genetic wise. The alpha chads are going to do the same thing with younger women, right? So as time goes on, he's not going to even want to take care of these 35 plus year old women because there's a plethora of younger women of just like ready to go. So I'm like, okay, her beauty is fading and she's going to have trouble having kids. This 35-year-old, or I can go ahead with this newer model. She's
Yeah.
21, 22.
Well, though but that's the thing. Like in this hypothetical, we're assuming that the women are perpetually 18 and fertile. Like they hit 18 and then they just stay 18 and fertile until they suddenly drop dead in their mid 80s or whenever.
Oh yeah.
Like in that situation where they're continually chasing Alpha Chat is continuing to smash because these women don't go for the nice guy until they either A, hit a level of, well, not even if they hit financial desperation, like there's still always the simps because like first the massive army of simps has to stop like chasing them for and go for the younger models, and the chads have to stop smashing them.
I agree.
So but if they're perpetually young and fertile, like that train's never going to stop, and I think it would honestly red pill men a lot faster because then these men would like they'd get older and older and older, and they'd see these women who like just because they remain young and fertile doesn't mean that they're not like going to be mentally broken by being pumped and dumped for a decade plus.
I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. It all depends on her beauty and fertility at the end, and we always explain it. Try to explain it to them, but of course, you know they're not going to listen until it's too late, right? Because once again, men, what's up?
Well, that's the thing. They always, every single one of them thinks that they are going to remain like beautiful and perfect forever. Every single one of them thinks that they're special.
I agree. And it's just insane. Like you saw the recent video of the middle-aged supermodel, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah. Casual Bachelor, I think, did that.
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh my god, like she really is stripping naked because the person or the people that she wants doesn't want her anymore. Now she's talking about when she's in her mid to late 50s, talking about, oh, I don't care, I'm in love with myself, and she just keeps stripping. Like, why are you taking off your clothes? Like, like put them back on, old woman.
Yeah. No, like it would be the equivalent of a man saying that he respects himself and then like doing backbreaking labor for sub minimum wage.
Exactly. It's or just saying, "Oh, I'll get money. Oh, I'm so rich," but it turns out he's getting allowance from his parents or something like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like with a man, like we sell our like time and bodies in the form of labor, by and large. So when it comes down to like a man has no self, like it would be effectively a man giving away his labor for free just because he wants to feel valued as a worker.
Yeah, pretty much a definition of a simp. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is at the end, yeah.
But at the end of the day, like that's the issue. They're chasing like the dopamine high of validation.
I agree because once again they've been taught for the longest time, you know, as long as you break your back for these women, they'll fall for you, you know. And it's one thing to get validation for your hard work. Plenty of men, you know, nice guys, or you can say simps, they break their back and just so they can get a chance of being 50 meters close to the puniti. You know, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, and that's where the problems really set in because the nice guy is usually not a very like nice person on the inside.
Right.
I've heard it kind of broken down to nice versus good. Whereas a good person is one that is inherently beneficial. Because good and evil on a subjective scale can roughly be broken down to, is it beneficial to me and my future or what I want? Then it is good. If it is detrimental, then it is evil. Like a nice guy dresses as a good person, but they at the end of the day are genuinely just out for themselves.
Yeah, they're selfish desires, you know.
That's the thing, but you can have selfish desires and be good, but you got to be honest about it. You can be like, yes, I'm doing this for me, but others can benefit from it. Whereas a nice person would be like one of these virtue signalers that wants to appear like they're beneficial so that other people will benefit them. But they don't genuinely care about the success of others, and they're willing to drop everyone at a moment's notice as soon as something better comes along.
So a good example is male feminists. I see
Precisely.
it all the time. You know, like, come on, bro. You know you don't believe that bullshit that's coming out your mouth. We know you're trying to get laid. Stop. Just stop. I'm all for abortion. I'm all for women's rights. Blah blah blah. While he's like hawking over those women, you know, especially those guys that follows women around at parties and at the bar. Like it's so weird. Like trying to be extra nice and shit. Trying to perceive that, oh no, look at me, you know, I'm the best guy here. I do this, I do that. Yeah, I'm amazing, you know. Well, and you can see that it's clearly artificial, you know. Like bro, like just stop. Just stop. So I see what you're saying when it comes to, you know, the difference of being good and being quote unquote nice.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Because like a good man is willing to get his fucking hands dirty, stand up for his own beliefs. A nice guy simply mimics the beliefs of what he thinks is most beneficial at the moment. And like, as Ass Blaster says right there, yes, they'll interpret a nice man as being beneath them, and that's true. Because like women by and large, like they project this air of self-confidence, but they're so insecure.
Oh yeah.
There might be some that genuinely think that their shit doesn't stink, but they are very few and far between relative to the ones that like they're insecure about everything. Again, like Jesus, I think as Chronic said, like just tell them they're fat. Like, they'll believe you
immediately. Especially like, see, okay, because I haven't been going out there trying to get chicks like that lately, because I ain't trying to, you know, I ain't trying to get that the monkey thing that's spreading around.
Oh god, monkeypox, yeah.
But especially the military, you know, when you go around, you need to treat women like they're human beings. Like it's crazy how, you know, you go to a bar or a club and these guys are so timid and afraid to go up to a woman, just talk to her. I'm like, bro, they're nothing fucking special. Like what are you so afraid to just go up and talk to her? Okay, like she ain't no different than between you and me. Okay, believe it or
well
not,
okay, no, but that's the thing though. They like, you can think like, well, there's no difference. Like, yeah, but you walk up to a guy and he doesn't like you, he might ignore you or blow you off or tell you to fuck off. He won't call a small army of other guys to beat the shit out of you.
Like, wait, a guy or
a guy will not. A guy will deal with you as a man one-on-one.
As a man,
woman,
okay.
if she doesn't like you, will summon a swarm of simps to curb stomp you.
Okay, now I see. Okay, I see what you're talking about. I had the whole thing. I thought you meant the dude said sends the army to beat her ass. I was like, wait.
That'd be a very different world.
That would be insane. But I do see what you're saying. Yeah, a man is a lot more confrontational. Definitely, I agree.
Well, a lot more confrontational, but at the same time, like you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
Like you deal with a man, you're just dealing with that man. Because if that man calls a whole bunch of other guys to deal with to deal with you, it's not going to look good. But a woman, like, and you know as a man that there's a whole bunch of fucking white knights waiting in the wings to curb stomp any man that they get social permission to.
yeah, especially dealing with other jealous dudes that's probably trying to get at her as well.
That's the thing. Like when it's a public setting, like a dance or a club or whatever,
Yeah.
like that's basically like any woman you approach has fucking security.
Oh yeah, of course, and they know this. They know this. That's why they're a lot more bold now than you know. I'll say over a little over 100, maybe a little bit more. Like a long time ago, right, where white knight isn't as prevalent, but now
Well,
it's like
white knighting wasn't as prevalent because
yeah,
like more men had a woman.
yeah,
Like
and they
you're less
weren't really
likely to white knight when you have a woman in your life because then you're just white knighting for one. But a single man who's effectively on the prowl, like he'll white knight for any woman because he's just looking for one to get in on.
Oh, of course, and that's like the ultimate. Okay, how should I say this? How should I say this? Because I'll say, might as well talk about it now. Do you believe that let's say nice? I want to say nice guys. I'll say Simps in general. The Simps of White Knight, are they getting desperate? Like very desperate these days compared to before?
Hmm. Before, I don't know. I think it's on the decline actually. Like if you had to look at the level of simp energy, I think that the graph would currently be sloping downwards, not upwards.
Good.
But a lot of that is like they can get what they want much easier. Like, okay, when do you think simp energy was higher? Before or after porn was freely available to anyone with an internet connection?
Um, this was before that was available.
That's the thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, do you think that simp energy is higher or lower when a man has access to tits, ass, pussy, and every other fetish under the sun?
I
Since the age of
would.
like 5.
Okay, that's complicated because I will say yes and no at the same time because damn it. Okay, let's say just for this example, let's say lower.
That's the thing. It's kind of gone to extremes. But there is a rising amount of indifference.
Well, the simping part, right? Do you believe it depends on age?
Um. Well, no, age definitely does have a factor due to hormones, but we are getting like more based youth nowadays. Like, it's just how many 13-year-olds like 10, 20 years ago would openly say she's for the streets?
Uh, not too many would.
I think that number is going up.
Oh, definitely, especially thanks to social media. Oh yeah, it's definitely rising because of the age of information.
That's the thing. Like now, like this, like the dirty laundry is being aired, and because it's being aired now, also the cover up. Hermit seems to think that it's at an all-time high. I'd be curious because I'm wondering, like on the objective sense. I mean, we definitely see a heck of a lot more simping than we would before. But that's also because like simping is by its very nature incredibly visible.
Let me answer this one real quick. Boomers are super simps. I 1,000,000% agree. I despise old heads. I really do. I despise them with a passion because they clearly cannot comprehend the current dating market when it comes to these Fladianas running around. They really do believe they're on that old school R&B, lovey-dovey romance songs. That really thinks that there's a one for you out there, and they constantly want to butt heads with the younger generation, right? Like mainly Gen Z. They want to butt heads with Gen Z, talking about, oh, you just don't know how to talk to a girl. Oh, you just don't know what you're doing. I'm like, you never had to deal with a dating market where a woman can literally have access to a man around the world instantly. She has countless options. You never had to deal with that. The most she has to deal with is the people within her town or city.
Yeah, and at the same time, a lot of them are in denial because like their life is fucked up, but they basically want to drag everyone else into the same miserable lot that they have. That's the
I
fucked up
agree.
part of it because like they will openly like acknowledge jokingly about how little bedroom action they're getting now that they're married. But then you start to suggest that marriage isn't worth it, and they'll get all defensive.
I guarantee you, they're the ones that started that happy wife, happy life bullshit.
Well, that's the thing. It's
Motherfuckers.
because it's not like fucking happy wife, happy life. It's like they just know that that if their wife is upset, the woman is going to make their life more miserable, and they can't do anything about it without the cops coming down and putting them in prison.
Yeah, but the simmer, and you know what? I'm gonna put this out there. You know how I say that women they put on a facade, especially when they become older, middle age. They try to put on a facade for younger women and try to pretend that the bad decisions that they made in their lives was good, and they pretend to be all happy. They're a bad bitch. They're independent. Okay, I forgot to mention that older men do the same thing. And Gray, he
Absolutely.
brought up a good point, right? They want to say that they're married and like, oh, married life is a great life. Oh man, I love my wife so much. I'm doing amazing. Wow, their stress levels at an all time high. They already have gray hair by the time they're in their early 30s, right? They're financially ruined, and the wife disrespects him in front of everybody. She doesn't even care.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure it's something like Stockholm syndrome. Like they're just so used to the abuse that they've completely forgotten that there was ever a time when they weren't being shat on.
Exactly. Exactly. And don't get me started on the kids. The kids will grow up to not even to respect the dad because even they know that their own dad got cucked.
Oh god, yeah. And then like the dad's like, well, I want to be friends with my child. It's like, mother, you are not here to be their friend. We're supposed to be their parent. That means they're gonna fucking hate you until they're an adult and realize like why you had to do what you did. You are going to be
Exactly.
their biggest obstacle and adversary for the first 20 years of their life.
Because the biggest thing is like, don't get me wrong, I talk to my dad and like he talks to me like I'm an adult, but the dynamic doesn't change. He's still my dad. The fuck? Like we ain't friends like that. He's still my father. Like
Well, and I
shit, it
think
doesn't matter
that's
how old you are. What's up?
I think that's definitely a part of the problem is because so much of the generation of like boomers and Gen X, like they didn't understand why their parents were hard on them and kind of distant, and so they tried to be the exact opposite for their children. And so their children are like, look, I don't need a friend, I need a parent, I need a father.
Exactly. Exactly. Like we could like hell, like we can be cool once you're out doing your own thing, once you're, you know, out on your own, living your best life, then sure. Yeah, we could be cool then. But until then, no, I ain't your fucking even then, I'm not your friend, We can be cool, but I'm still your father. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, or 50. I'm still your motherfucking dad.
That's that's the issue. Is like nowadays, you'd think that that would be something that a father would tell the child, but now it's getting to the point where the children have to tell their parents to grow up and start acting like adults.
Right. And Rachel, like I said before, like yeah, we could be cool. Don't get me wrong. Like yeah, we could be chill. But I never see my dad as a friend ever. Like yeah, we talk to each other like adults and we're cool and stuff. But I can never say that I can never perceive like my dad being a friend or my mom being a friend. You know, we have a great relationship, awesome relationship. But first and foremost, he's my father, or she's my mom. Like that structure needs to be there for things to still work properly, right?
That's the and the other thing is that you can have tons of friends. The amount of friends that you can have is virtually limitless, but you can only ever have one mother and one father.
Agreed. Because I just can't. I don't know. I don't know how. I can't judge every household, but in my opinion, there's no reason. Like I don't know why your parents want to be friends with you, or you guys want to be best friends, where you guys can still have a great loving time as father and son, as mother and son, as that dynamic.
I think it goes back to a fear of being disliked. Like like these grown men are so scared of their children not liking them, which again, that's very female. Like the mother being like that, okay, that's kind of the thing. They're meant to be like the nurturing friend. They're the good cop. The dad is supposed to be bad cop.
Oh yeah, my dad didn't. I'm telling you right now, my dad gave no fucks. He's like, you really think I'll give a damn if you know like me? I'm not here to be liked.
That's the thing. But I see that like more and more with parent-child relationships these days. I'm not seeing like the necessary hardness like to raise a child. I'm seeing basically simping for your kids.
Which is like the quickest way for your kids. Like that would be even worse to grovel for your kids' wants and needs just because they want it. Like I want. Okay, baby, here. Which color you want? You know what? I'll buy all of it. That's the quickest way to be treated like shit. By your kids, they will not respect you at all, and it will. I don't think you can get it back. And if you do get it back, that would be a miracle.
Yeah, no, I don't think you respect because that's the thing. Like, you can't. Again, it goes to nice guys. Like, nice guys win in the end. Like, no, they don't. Nice guys will get curb stomped their entire life until they effectively die, and then you're just waiting to put them in the ground.
Pretty much. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. Because it's the thing that, people, the reason that I'm putting emphasis on I don't see a reason why you need to be quote unquote friends with your parents. It's because you can get away with, how do I say it? You respect your friends differently than you will respect your parents. Right.
Yeah.
Because, oh, what'd you say, Gray?
Yeah, but they serve different purposes.
Agreed.
Like your friends are the people like you get up to shit with them that you keep secrets from your parents about. You don't keep secrets with your parents that you don't tell your friends.
And it's very difficult to maintain any type of authority or respect when you're friends with that person, right? And it's a even more complicated situation if it's your own mom and dad. So who has the upper hand here? That's where it gets confused, and things just breaks down at that point. Because are you a friend or are you a parent? Who knows?
It's I think like if you're the parent, then you need to be the parent. If you're trying to be the friend, all you're doing is undermining your parental authority. And the thing is, the kid will crave the parental authority. Like they'll crave like knowledge and experience from someone older. And if they don't feel they can get it from their parent, they will seek out someone else who can give it to them.
Agreed. I definitely agree. And I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Okay. I'm not saying that, oh, your parents gonna hate your guts or whatever. Still to this day, right? I'm older than a good amount of you guys, not all you guys, but till this day, great loving relationship with my parents. Keyword parents, not my friends, parents. At the end of the day, even as an adult, I will still take their advice to heart. I know I'm an adult now. Yeah, ooh, I can do whatever I want, blah blah blah. But they've been through, they've been there and done that. A majority of the things that I'm going through right now. Right. It's not that, oh, when you're 18, when you're 18, you don't need their advice anymore. You don't need their support or anything. No, guarantee you, if you have loving parents, especially if you have a good masculine dad at the house, you know, there's something that they're the people, one of the only people that you'd be able to rely on for the rest of your life, and they won't hesitate either. But keyword parents, not friends. That dynamic needs to be established. Similar to your siblings when you're older. It doesn't matter how much older I get, I still have a younger brother. I still have an older brother or sister or whoever it is. Okay, structure is key when it comes to a family. And I'm a sidetrack for a bit. And when it comes to the single mother household, do you really believe there's that kind of structure in the house? No, no. It's chaos, as expected. If there,
And
oh, what's up, Gray?
single mother household, like yeah, everything's thrown into disarray at that point. There's no getting away from it.
Right, and I saw a comment earlier. I missed it. My bad, y'all. But I saw a comment earlier of how, especially in a single mother household, the mom and the daughter, they tend to be like friends, but it gets to the point where they compete with each other over a man, uh, which gets borderline weird and creepy at that point. But it happens a lot.
Yeah, and that's the other issue because like you will see in some relationships like the father get in competition like with the sons, like, especially like because the father's usually unwilling to admit like they're growing older, like they're not going to be as strong, they're not going to be as capable.
But I think that's a natural thing, right? Like
But
it
that's
tends to
well,
happen.
yeah, but it's natural for the daughter to attract more male attention than the mother. Doesn't mean
Right,
that the mother accepts it, and just because
right,
it's natural for the father to eventually be overpowered by his sons doesn't mean they like it.
right. I agree. I agree. No, it's okay. So how do I explain it? When it comes to a father realizing that he isn't the strong superhero, you know, father figure. He ain't the strong superhero to the kids anymore. He's pretty much past his prime, knowing that his kid or kids are all bigger and stronger than him. Um, it's something it's something that's hard to swallow, right? Because that means that like holy shit, like I'm getting weaker. I'm getting older. Like holy, like you have to face your own mortality as a man, as a father. And I can understand that. Which why I emphasized before that structure between father and son is key. Because even though I can easily overpower my dad, right? I can overpower him right now. I won't. Why? He's my dad. If you try to be friends with him, you know, I feel like I have the liberty to put my hands on him as a friend, right? So
Yeah, like that's the problem. Friends are equals, and your parents should not strive to be your equal.
exactly, like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So yeah, I wouldn't exist. So that reason, that main reason, right, is why you should have that type of respect. See, but the thing that's weird, it just borderline weird to me is the mom and daughter thing when it comes to her jealousy. Like once again, if she had her own man like she's supposed to and actually get married and have a traditional family, she wouldn't be having these type of issues. But in a single mother household, especially if she has a daughter, it's just that weird dynamic on how the single mom feels that she needs to compete with her own daughter. That is borderline creepy.
Yeah, well, again, it's the consequence of like not having a stable man. Like there's probably some deep psychological issues where when a woman doesn't have a present male authority, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some hormonal stuff that kicks in and goes, you need to find and secure a man and deal with any female competition.
I agree. I definitely agree. It's just like there's all these other men out here, all these other men. Like why are you being so fucking weird around your daughter and your daughter's little friends? Like that is like whoa,
Well, no,
chill
like
the
right there,
fuck
you've
out.
got you've got pre-selection bias.
Yeah. That's true. It just I can't. I know what happens. I know it just. I just can't wrap my head around it at times. I'm like, yo, like that is fucking weird, bro. Like you weird. If you would have had your own man and not sleep around with Pookie and Ray Ray, you would have been having this issue. But no, you resort to having some type of competitive battle with your own daughter to find a man. You sad, pathetic piece of trash.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, they make the decision based on a spur of the moment emotion without any thought for the long term consequences, and it
Right.
results in a bunch of fucked up bullshit because like, they're just reacting. They're not anticipating and trying to get ahead of things in life. They're reacting to the moment, and they play themselves.
No, definitely. Oh! I saw. Hold up. Give me a second. That actually happened to one of my homeboys in high school. We all went over to our boy's house after football practice, and it turns out that he had a sister, and the mom is a single mother, and the single mother was I'm surprised she's not put in jail. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. She was like, whoa, like, yo, I am mad uncomfortable. Like, she was wearing the shortest shorts and the and a tank top on. I'm like, bro, like, she's leaving little to the imagination around teenagers. Like, that's so fucking creepy, bro. And we left immediately. Like, after like 10 minutes, we were like, hey, we gotta go, bro. It was getting some weird vibes, very weird vibes. Oh boy, like the absence of morality to do that around children. That just shows the single mother chaotic situation. The fact that she'll go after anybody at this point, trying to secure some type of man. It is ugh. That's why I avoid single mothers. Not the only reason, but one of the many reasons.
No, and they recognize like this behavior in each other. Like a single mother will call out another single mother's bullshit, but then be completely oblivious to their own behavior.
Oh man, that's the craziest part. Have you seen YouTube videos or any type of social media videos where the mother and the daughter are literally like screaming at each other because the daughter is like yo, you going after my boy, you need to stop going after my boyfriend, blah blah blah. Or on the flip side, the mom's yelling at the daughter saying, oh, you trying to go after my boyfriend, huh? You gotta stay away from my boyfriend. I'm like, yo, we're getting some weird vibes up in here. What the fuck? Like,
but no, it's funny that one comment, like, physical competition is fine, sexual is not. It's like, that is physical competition for women. Like, women don't compete in fucking like strength or physical fitness competitions. They compete sexually and sexual desirability. That is their competition. And it is much the same for like men competing in physical, because on the base level, the stronger, more fit male is more likely to get mates. So like, you can't have a physical competition without there being some kind of sexual dynamic. It just is what it is.
I definitely agree. I'm seeing this dude right here. Hold up, because you being weird in the comments. Anyway, yeah. When it comes to masculinity in its purest form, it's pretty much being strong, competition, the thrive or perish type of lifestyle, and we know this. Try your best to become your best version of yourself however you can, or be left in the dust. And when it comes to between how do I say it? When it comes to a father, like, once again, he knows that his sons will overtake him. And hell, even as a single father, like, there's literally no issues between father and son per se, compared to the single mother household with their daughters.
Well, keep in mind, there can be, like, just because yes, it makes logical sense doesn't mean that every father is the sane, rational understanding. Like, you have a bunch that get very wrapped up in their identities and egos as being top dog, and then when threatened by the son, they will seek to destroy it, even if yes, it is destroying their own child. That does.
I'm not denying there's fucked up people out there. I'm just saying it's less.
But keep in mind chaotic. Then you just gotta keep in mind it's not like there's an even ratio of single fathers to single mothers. So we can't say single mothers outpower them. So we are going to, by the very nature of it, see more single mother tomfoolery. because there's more of them, and any single father that manages to get custody of his kids is probably one of the better ones. Because any shitty father, like, is either probably going to be in a 2-parent household, or they're going to have bounced or have been removed from the family.
My bad. I had to go take a call. I definitely agree with you saying when it comes to that. Like, of course, everything is different with each case, but in a general sense, I rarely hear that type of nonsense compared to mothers. Even though single mothers outpace single fathers by a lot, I don't hear that many issues when it comes to I want to be top dog, or hey yo, that's your girl. Let me come after your girl, or I never really, it's just me personally.
No.
I'm not saying that's fact.
No, that's the thing. Like, it would be rare by its very nature.
Right.
And if it ever did come up, well, it'd be dealt with pretty fucking swiftly, especially nowadays, because the authorities are looking for any excuse to get a man away from the family.
Well, speaking on that aspect, when it comes to kids not taking care of their own, not taking care of their own, not respecting their own parents, right? Because they're too nice and they're simping and trying to be friends with their own kids.
Yeah.
I have heard instances of kids literally calling the authorities or calling CPS on their own parents, especially their dad. Like, it is, I'm like, what? Like, they literally will call CPS on their own father, just because he took away their Game Boy. Like, holy fuck.
That's the thing, like, because they've learned that, well, the government is superior to their parents. Now they don't, but and again, it's the same, like, childish thinking that, like, yeah, a child will destroy the family the same way that a woman will destroy the family for an emotional short-term gain, heedless of the long-term consequences.
I agree. No long-term thinking. They just, I'm gonna get my Game Boy back by any means necessary, even if the cops have their weapons drawn on you. Yeah, and there's one other video of a woman not letting the cops in her house and yelling at her daughter because the daughter got mad for some reason. I forgot why. But the daughter called the police. Oh, because the mom would not let her grab a couple of her things because the mom kicked the daughter out. So the daughter got mad and called the cops. And the cops are like literally trying to illegally enter the household, and then the mom was pushing her back. They knew they were wrong. They knew. But they thought that they can get away with it, right? Because it involves a child. So let's just get this over with and, take the child away or whatever. It is crazy. It is asinine out there. But it all goes back to nice guys always lose. And what I mean by nice guys are the simps that will eventually have to deal with that type of nonsense, right?
Well, no, and that's something. It actually reminds me of an old comedian skit by Russell Peters, where, like, his dad would, his dad would, like, spank him pretty forcefully, and, like, the common threat was somebody gonna get hurt real bad. And then, one day, like a young Russell Peters is at school, and, like, his white classmate says, "Oh yeah, whenever my parents, like, do something I don't like, I just threaten to call CPS on them." And then they cave. So then Russell Peters, like, tries that on his dad, and his dad's like, "Okay, here's the phone. You can call them. But in the 15 minutes it's going to take for them to get here, somebody going to get hurt real bad."
I've actually seen that in person before. I've seen somebody in my family do that. Oh man! Oh, the child was having an attitude. I forgot for what reason, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna call the cop. I'm gonna call the cop." He's like, "All right, call him, call him. Let's see who's gonna get to you first." I was like, "Ooh, oh shit!" Like, oh shit, because the little cousin was being a shithead. Like, of course, they're kids. But like, if you want to call the cops, go ahead, go call the authorities. But let's see who's gonna get to you first. Do it.
And that's the thing, like, it comes to negotiation. The nice guy surrenders his power immediately. And that's the problem. Because if you're negotiating at from a position of weakness, you're screwed. If you immediately surrender all of your leverage, so they have no reason to capitulate to anything you do. Alternatively, if you negotiate from a position of strength, like, okay, you can call the cops and you're going to suffer until they get here. So is that really worth it to you?
Exactly. Like, I'll give them a reason to go to jail.
Yeah, like in for a penny, in for a pound here.
Right.
If you're never gonna see me again, your last memory of me is not going to be me crying and begging for you to not do this. It's going to be you screaming in agony, begging me to stop.
Oh, you're gonna get that favorite belt too.
Getting the fucking one with the big belt buckle.
Oh hell no! Oh, that sounds beyond painful.
You're gonna have fucking favorite logo permanently affixed to your ass.
Did somebody brand you, bro? Like, what is that? Oh, like, did you get a tattoo? But in all seriousness though, like, I thought about this topic today. I was like, huh, how in the hell does the quote unquote nice guy always win? Like, I thought about it for like a minute or two. I'm like, let me think of scenarios or situation, and I did not get one. I'm on that Doctor Strange shit on in Infinity War. He's looking for millions of outcomes. I couldn't, not even one. I could not find one outcome.
That's the thing. That's because the people saying that, like, either A, they are lying because they were a nice guy who had to settle for fucking 3-week-old bottom of the dumpster leftovers, and they're trying to make it seem like that was a victory in order to soothe their own ego. Or it's a woman that is trying to sell herself to a nice guy because she knows she fucked up and she can't do any better, but she knows she needs to appeal to a guy's ego in order to get what she wants out of him.
I agree. You are 100% on that situation, because it is crazy, right? Because these nice guy or these simps, right? I'm gonna correlate nice guy with simps at the moment, but definitely from the boomer generation, and I'll say Gen X too.
Yeah, they're in Gen X.
They are the ones that, in my opinion, had the craziest amount of like nice guys, right? And they believe that they picked up the early 30 woman that already had a child or multiple abortions, and wifing her up while she treats him like shit and he has to pay for everything. That's a win to them, and they brag about it to the world. And currently on social media, I'm gonna see if I can look up a few of them. These old heads, yes, I call them old heads. They had the audacity to try to come after the red pill or come after anything that goes against their, there's plenty of fish in the sea mentality, or you just didn't find the one. Like, I'm like, holy fuck, these feminists have you on a leash.
Well, and that's the thing, because they have to attack anything that threatens what they did. Because essentially, if they're to say that the red pill is right, it means that they made poor decisions and have thrown away decades of their life.
So they're coping. Big
Yes.
cope.
Huge cope. It's the sunk cost fallacy. They've
Oh,
thrown they threw so much of their life away for some, like, it has to have value, not because it's valuable, but because they sacrifice so much. It'd be like if you gave up like $1 million for a freaking $2 bill. Like, that $2 bill is going to mean the world to you. Otherwise, you realize, holy shit, I've been played for a sucker.
yep. And I wonder if that's what a good amount of them during the death. Because here's my thing. At least here's my personal fear, right? I don't want to be that guy where I'm on my deathbed and a bunch of my family members, whether it's close or distant family members, are over me fighting over the estate that I earned, not them, me. That's my last moments of them fighting over everything that I worked for. That's what they cared about in the end. That is my worst fear.
Well,
I don't want to go through all that personally, right? I actually want to have a genuine family. I don't think you'd be able to have that in the American culture or Western culture. Hell no, because in the end, it's
honestly,
all.
I'd be.
Oh, what's up?
Honestly, are you sure that that's not something that is entirely a fictitious Hollywood fantasy to begin with?
Wait, what do you mean?
The idea of, like, a loving, caring family that genuinely supports just out of an altruistic good nature.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. How so?
I don't really think that that kind of love can exist from the bottom up. Because when you get into the relationship dynamics of parents and children, it's kind of hard. I think about it from a different perspective. Your boss, your employer, can you ever truly love someone like that where they have power over you, where their favor comes with tangible benefits?
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
whereas, that's where I think that you can really only get it from the father to the child, because that is the only way where it can be selfless, because the father can get by just fucking fine without his children.
I agree. Because at least from father to child, like the child or grandchildren or whoever, it's like one of the youngest next in line, that is our top priority, right? Like that's what I'm leaving behind truly in the end. Like they are my legacy. Besides the work that you've done throughout your life, right? You probably, create some type of center or, cure for cancer, but that's besides the point. Your children or your grandchildren or etc. That's definitely a big thing in a man's life and something that he wants to make sure that they're good before he passes on.
But that's
So
the thing. It's the flow, but it's the one-way flow of power
yeah,
that makes it real. Because a
yeah,
father is very rarely going, I am looking after my children so that when I am old and useless and crippled, they will look after me. No, the father's usually planning on icing himself before he ever gets to that point and not wanting to be a burden. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
other member of a family that has that same dynamic as a father.
Exactly. Like I rarely hear any type of issues from the great grandparents and grandparents. Like I rarely hear issues from the great grandfather. I mean, and the grandfather. They're literally just chilling and doing their own thing, and they rarely ask for assistance if need be. Like they're just coasting, enjoying the rest of their remaining days. You know, like they don't really want to be a burden. I do agree, Gray.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, like the idea of, can your children ever love the father the same way the father loves the children? I think the answer is no. I think it's straight up impossible.
So repeat that question one time.
I think that like the children can never love the father the same way that the father loves the children. And so you're always going to get into a condition where like these people that you love and you've sacrificed for it, they're always going to be looking to divvy up your corpse at the end.
Um, in a sense, like how do I say it? I see. Okay, I could see the children, or mainly the son, in my opinion, having love for the father, but not definitely not close, not even close to the amount of love the father has for the son. I
I'm
agree.
not saying that it is a like an all or nothing, but because there's always stuff to be gained from like the love because of the unequal power dynamic, the weaker can never love the stronger the same way that the stronger loves the weaker.
I agree. I agree. Because like you said before, he doesn't have to. Like he can just all right, I'm out. You know, but he definitely chose to stay, especially for how many years? Probably 40, 50 years. You know, yeah, I agree. There's no comparison. There's none.
So let's just say like a loving family, it's an unequal power dynamic, and it's set with children because children on a base instinctual level are going to defer to their parents not out of love but out of survival.
I agree.
Like, they have to, and that's going to be deeply ingrained into them their entire lives. There's just no getting away from it. It's always going to taint it.
Well, what do you think about what Mark said? Children, especially pre-adult, will only love the father for providing them with things like the way his wife loves him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Like, because then, because then you see a ton of conflict. Like once the teen years come about. Now, at the same time, though, if the father doesn't, if the gifts only flow from the mother, then the father takes on a completely different role.
How so?
Well, because then the kids can't go to the father to get something.
Okay.
Like, so it's not an option. Like,
That
it's
is
one
true.
thing. Like if the father is a conditional provider, like, oh, you got to make dad happy to get stuff, then it's a problem. But if it's like, look, dad's gonna do what dad's gonna do, and he's not gonna give a shit. If you want something, go to mom. If mom says no, then tough shit.
Yep. So that's very similar to my family. My dad, when he does it because he feels like doing it. You know,
But
not
that's the
just
thing.
because. Yeah.
But when there's like no, like when you're not thinking, oh, I can get material possessions from father, oh, I can get candy from father. When that's not a factor, then what you seek from the father is instead, well, probably life advice, but you're not seeking that material possession. And
Right.
so
You'll get
the
it when you
dynamic
get
is
it.
different. Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
dynamic is different.
Let me read this one. Wait. Let me go back. Fuck. Well, anyway, if you remember that question, do you believe that the children will develop that love and respect for their father when they become adults? Like for like they appreciate what he's done, you know, have that new profound appreciation.
They will, but chances are they're not going to get that appreciation until after the father is dead.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Um,
Yeah,
this is
and
a great
free Ross,
conversation, by the way.
like that's like the idea, like you don't love your children because of what you'll get out of it. Like that's a nice ideal. That does not mean that that is what everyone follows. And the father is far more likely to have that kind of ideal love than the mother.
You know what? Since we're on this topic, everybody in the chat right now, put a one in the chat if you watch the movie Fences. I repeat, put a one in the chat if you watch the movie Fences, and that's with Denzel Washington. It's based off of a play. Who voiced Simba in The Lion King? I forgot his name. Fuck.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, he's the one that played the. I'll explain it. I'll explain it a bit. So, pretty much, the father he has a good amount of issues. He didn't really have the greatest childhood growing up, etc., etc. But the way that he takes care of his son, right, is literally his sole basis is I take care of you because I brought you into this world. It is my responsibility. Because the kid asked the father, like, why don't you like me? And he was like, what law says I have to like you? What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about liking me? The fuck? Like he's like, like I don't go out there and bust my butt working and deal with all this nonsense just because I like you. I do it because it's my responsibility as your father. You know, me and your mother, me and your mother worked that part out, and liking your black ass was not part of the bar. But that's his sole, reasoning on his child rearing. I do it because it's my job as a father. I brought you into this world. It's my responsibility. And a lot of people didn't like that style because, he lacked a lot of emotional love. He lacked I don't know how to explain it, empathy, or try to get close to his son emotionally. He's very strict to the point, I'm doing this because it's my responsibility. Simple as that. And once again, he has a lot of issues on his own. Like he's not like a perfect father, but just
But at the
between the
same time,
conversation of his son and himself, he's like, no, I ain't gotta like you. The fuck, I'm doing this because you didn't ask to be here. You're my responsibility. What were you gonna say?
that's the thing is but like, what would you rather have? Someone who constantly says that they love you but doesn't do shit, or someone who will never say I love you but does all the actions of someone who does.
Exactly.
Like
There's a lot of that. Oh, what's
like
up?
if you're asking for that kind of emotional validation on top of having everything else provided for, then you're the one being ridiculous. Now, you can't really expect a kid to understand that,
Right.
but like, that's just the truth of the matter.
Well, there was a lot of argument because, from both sides, right? Because, a lot of people, they love to talk about, both ends. But, a lot of men that grew up in pretty much strict households, they deem it as he doesn't have to constantly tell you that, he loves you. Like the fact that he's sacrificing his time, his effort, everything to make sure that his kid is good to go with food, clothes, roof over his head, going to school, looking all dandy. The father shouldn't be like forced to be all lovey-dovey. No, actions alone, sacrifice is what a man does. Now that's one argument, saying like he doesn't have to tell you, his action shows.
No, and the thing is, that women prefer men like that as well. They don't want a man that fucking says, "Oh baby, I love you. You mean the world to me. You're the most precious thing in the world to me." No, they prefer through, and they show this through their actions, men who are fucking cold, distant, and callous, but they'll still do shit.
So how do I say it? So because he brought up, and I know you probably didn't watch the movie, but he brought up that his kid felt like a nuisance. Based on what we talked about right now, Just Gray, does a kid perceive like, oh, he's just doing all this because he's obligated to, nothing more?
Well, the kid would probably perceive that.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually a different father-son movie. You ever see Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen?
No. I'm gonna have to look that up.
No, basically, Tim Allen's like trying to finalize his divorce with his wife, who's in the Amazon, and finds out that, surprise, when she fucked off to the Amazon, she was pregnant with his kid. And so he ends up like taking his kid to New York as part of that kid's rite of passage to be a man.
Right.
And, well, it's frustrating taking a fucking jungle kid like to New York and trying to get him to be somewhat civilized. And along the way, he teaches the kid that the meaning of the word obligated is doing something that you didn't really want to do. And then during a heated moment, when the kid asks, like, well, if you don't want me here, why'd you bring me here? And he says, I was obligated. And the kid's like fucking devastated at that.
So we can pretty much see where the son was coming from when, he asked his father, why don't you like me? But the father, even though, once again, magical trinkets, he said, if there's one thing my father has taught me, it is this: we all have our vices. We can pick and choose our poisons, but the choices we make will determine our antidote. Yeah, the father was a raging alcoholic, and he didn't really have the best of moods. Like, he had anger issues. But I personally believe, like, in the movie, he was trying to explain, that he does love the kid. Like, he just explained it in his own way.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, you love the kid if you're willing to put up with all the bullshit. Like, but at the same time, just because you love the child does not mean you're under any obligation to lie to them.
Right.
Be like, oh no, like, I do enjoy working myself to death and needing to drink myself into a stupor every day because you're worth all of it. Like, no, it's like, look, some days I just want to freaking put you through a plate glass window because you piss me right the fuck off with all your stupid bullshit.
Oh shit, well, when you put it that way. Oh yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Like, what, as a dad, he can't be himself and express how he feels, because like, he's a human too, right?
Like, that's the thing, he's got to put up with enough bullshit, but then having to lie to his kid on top of that.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad he told the truth. He said, like, I don't gotta like you. Well, who says I have to like you? The fuck?
And that's the thing. And liking is also, it's an emotion. That shit's temporary.
Right.
Like, you're not going to like your kid every second of their life. Like, I'm willing to bet when you're fucking running on bullshit hours of sleep because the kid's screaming at all hours of the night and is shitting their pants on a freaking twice daily basis, you're not necessarily going to like them on an emotional level. You're not
I
going to be
completely
you're not going
agree.
to be fucking smiling every time you just got to sleep and now your eyes are bloodshot and you're half delirious.
I agree 1,000,000%. I know a few times when my dad comes home from work, he's like, "Don't talk to me." Like, "Oh, all right," then, like go away. Not because he, hates my guts that day. He just tired. And he didn't want to deal with anybody's bullshit at the moment. Like, just go away. Just like leave. Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, it was like, fuck off. I cannot deal with you telling me about how you figured out that the sky is blue because God spilled his paint.
Oh shit. Yeah, you just got done doing a 13, 14-hour shift, probably because you had to stay behind.
I am
Oh
fucking
man.
sore. I spent the entire day trying not to strangle my coworkers because I still want to be employed. Like, I do not have time for the magical talking dog that lives under your bed. Okay?
Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty what would you say? Oh, Free Ross. As children, we tend to focus on the few things our parents did wrong and forget about what they did right. I agree 1,000,000%.
Oh,
I definitely agree. Because once again, as children, similar to women, all right, they're able to remember the bad times a lot more than the good times, right? Why do
I
you
get,
think she'll be able to recall, the hour, the day, and the second of when she felt that she got wronged by you? Would you say,
like,
Gray?
well, that's the thing. And like, even look at it even on the broader sense with social media. Bad news travels far faster than good news.
I agree.
Like, that's why freaking rage bait is so popular and gets so widespread. It's because it clicks into the human emotion of memory and sharing, which makes sense on a basic level. I mean, what's more useful for long term survival? Remembering pleasant things or remembering unpleasant things?
That is definitely true. Definitely true. But in the end, when it comes to the nice guys and all that stuff, dealing with all this crazy things talking about nice guys finish last. No, we went through various situations, especially having a family. That's where the nice guy is too far gone. Like he lost so bad. You can't even imagine how much he lost that he married uh a big old uh 304 with three different kids from two different baby daddies, and she looks like that she looks like she's hiding a tie under her shirt, and she's treating you like shit, and believes that she's entitled to everything that you worked hard for, but she just waltz all up in there and say, "Yeah, give me your credit cards and your house and your car. Give me everything."
I think a better phrase would be the nice guy is remembered last.
How so?
Well, because he's nice. Because he strives to make every memory of himself pleasant. He will therefore be completely forgettable.
No, no, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It just irked the fuck out of me when I saw that video on E-Man 67's channel talking about nice guys always win. Like, girl, if you don't get your fucking manipulative ass out of, whew, guys, I guarantee you, a good amount of you became aware of these type of channels, these type of content, because you were the nice guy, aka simp. You did a simping choice, and you may or may not got burned, or you learned from somebody else's situation.
Yep. Like
Okay.
if you got here, like one of three things. Like either you got burned, you saw someone else get burned, or like you kind of, or you like kind of saw like past the bullshit despite not getting burned, which like that's rare. We can't all be chronic.
Oh man, like luckily I've learned young, right? It's unfortunate for the older gentlemen, Gen X or boomers. They have to learn 30, 40, hell, maybe even 50 years later when they get dragged through divorce courts. Yeah, that happens, gentlemen. I know there was a recent one. The celebrities divorced after 40 years of marriage.
Celebrity divorce is always kind of a funny thing because how much of their relationship is arranged by their agents, and divorce may just be like a publicity stunt.
I
Not
see what you're
always,
saying.
not always, but it can be. Like celebrities don't have private lives; their lives are public and organized, start to finish.
I know. I see what you're saying, but I'm talking about the overall concept of literally Brad Pitt didn't survive, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates didn't survive, all these star celebrities, top dogs that women are looking for, going after, right? The women are watching, right? Because they're a big fan of celebrity gossip or drama. They worship women like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, so with all this coming together, it's a bad recipe for marriages these days, and relationships in general. Bad recipe. And you
Yeah,
really
and
want to be that nice guy?
that's the other thing. Like you get a popular woman pulling shit like that, it's going to make all the less popular women go, "Oh, I could totally pull that off. I could totally be just like her and like make a fortune from it and be a total boss CEO babe." Like, no, like it's A, you're not married to a fucking billionaire, and B, you're fucking terrible with money.
Oh, and I gotta read this right quick. I told my cousin earlier about Warband perspectives, and he called me problematic and misogynist. Of course, the good old N word, misogynist. I grew up with this guy, and I barely recognize him because does he have rainbow colored hair, drinking that soy milk, that mixed with zinc of his boyfriend? Like, what's up? Yeah, he's about to participate in that Pride Month shit, isn't he? Get ready, gentlemen. Get ready.
Oh
Gonna see
God, yeah,
nothing but rainbow.
God, it's gonna be fucking rainbow plus all the colors that aren't in the rainbow now. Like, you ever seen a fucking rainbow with brown and pink in it?
No.
Well, that's what
Wait.
this that's gonna fucking be because like you've seen the new like they keep adding more fucking colors and symbols and shapes to this bloody flag.
Make Town Podcast go away. About
Hey
Happy Pride
Tim.
Month. Get the fuck out of here. How dare you? But hey, before we continue, you already know what time it is. If you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus and the Warband, there's 2 links on top of the chat. You could donate to paypal.me/Sir Yeetus or Cash App/Sir Yeetus. All donations are appreciated, okay? It doesn't matter. If you're unable to donate, it's all good. As long as you're here listening to what me and Gray has to say, that's all that matters.
Although,
you.
hey, you know what? Actually, just thought of something. Like,
What's
this
up?
is how Pride Month can be used to save lives.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's quite simple.
Gonna
All you
grift
need
that
to
hard, huh?
no. It's all you
Okay.
have to do is next time you see someone posting that they're going to shoot up a school, you just have to get them to say something homophobic and the feds will go after them.
You know what? That's actually a good idea. And speaking of the school thing, I'm definitely gonna. Me and Gray, we're gonna make a separate video on that because I still want to talk about the Texas shooting. I don't want to talk about it.
We'll tackle the mental health crisis in America.
Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. Very considerate. But regardless, it's you guys need to understand, okay? No matter how much we try to emphasize it, I'll do it again and again. All right. Plenty of people that are within this space, whether you're in the Warband or Manosphere or whatever it is. One of the only reasons that you discovered our stuff is because you were probably that nice guy. You were probably that mega simp. And you got burned. And luckily you were able to learn from it. All right. This is why videos like these are very important. What do I say about that, Gray?
Well, let's be honest, yeah, because again, we look at the 5 stages of like the red pill grief cycle. During the first 2, like first off, denial. Like that's when a lot are going to be like that's where you gotta get them early because that's when they're most susceptible to stuff like the PUAs and that kind of bullshit.
Right.
But then even more important is like to gain the understanding in order to get past the rage part of it. That's where there's a lot of problems that occur with it because you're not going to feel good about the information. At best, you might feel relief at realizing you're not insane. But that's really about the only good feeling you're going to get from this.
I agree. What did producer Tim say? I say this all the time. You can do everything right as a parent and still get the wrong result. I definitely agree. That can still happen. You know, because eventually your child is responsible for their own choices. And there's not much you can do after that. So, yeah, they can be the perfect child growing up, but once they go to those female feminist indoctrination camps, aka college, or they just want to
fucking public school these days.
Yeah, like things can go bad very quickly because once they reach a certain age, they're gonna do what they want, whether you want them to or not. That's life. They can still have a horrible downward spiral.
Yeah. Well, so I think, and that's like RPM actually mentioned this when he was going through, like when he was going through kind of the rage and actually ended up going to therapy for a bit. The most powerful phrase he learned, like, her actions are not your fault.
I agree.
And there's a point with your kids where you have to accept that your kids are their own independent people and they are absolutely capable of making stupid fucking decisions that ruin their lives, despite you doing everything in your power to teach them against doing that kind of bullshit.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. That's why, at least me as a parent, in the future, if I ever have kids, I won't hesitate to cut my own kid off from the family if they're really doing something like that bad that it literally embarrasses the family's name. I won't hesitate to cut them off.
Like, because at that point, like, you can be like, look, I've done everything I can to prevent it, but I'm also, but if I find you like fucking up, I'm not going to enable your fuck ups.
Is that, yep, just because you're my child doesn't mean I have to agree with what you're doing.
That's something that too many parents make mistakes with nowadays, where they think they need to support their child no matter what, and just get so many completely fucked up adults who, like, they're living like a fucking bullshit fucked up life entirely because their parents are supporting them, when their parents should just be like, no, you're on your fucking own right now.
Yep. Especially if I catch my future son being a simp. Like, how dare you? Dad, it's not what it looks like.
It's exactly what it fucking looks like. You're in denial.
Did you just pay $1,000 to this e-thought? But Dad, she shouted out my name, you know?
Right? Oh, you're like, you want someone to fucking scream shit? I'm getting the fucking belt with your name on it.
Like, oh no, I ain't gonna have no sip in this family. Oh shit, I'm sorry. It's just I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the thing among Gen Xers in the future. My son ain't no simp. Oh, beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful time. I'm telling you. Oh. But in the end, Gray, do you have any final thoughts for this topic, or are you good to go?
Yes, I'll reiterate that, unfortunately, just due to how human nature is, niceness is forgotten, and people don't even that's the people. Nice guys think that being kind to someone else will be beneficial to them in the long run, and unfortunately, that is not the case. People don't want to be in debt to you, regardless of whether or not you are like, oh, well, I've done this for you, so you're in debt to me. No, people hate feeling like they owe somebody. So they are far more likely to stab you in the back and throw you under the bus if you have treated them kindly than if you have treated them poorly. And that's just an unpleasant fact of human nature.
Boom, mic drop. I definitely like what you just said, but I'm gonna keep it simple on this one. All right, gentlemen, if you want to be that pushover, if you want to be that weak simp that is willing to pick up anything that you find at 2 a.m. after the bar close, you know, and you get a girl that's looking like a Pillsbury Pillsbury boy, you know, CGA, right? That's on you, right? That's on you as a man, that you are willing to choose something that low quality, that disgusting, and on top of that, put a ring on it and want to go out to the world and brag that, oh, I won, oh, look at my wife, look at my family, look at this, look at that. While you're literally going to be put in the early grave of how much stress you have to deal with, a 304 of a wife, kids that don't respect you, your friends definitely are laughing at you behind your back, your parents are disappointed in you. Gentlemen, when it comes to choosing a partner, you don't even have to marry. When it comes to choosing a partner, choose wisely. If you're going to have a companion in the future, you need to vent them until you cannot vent them anymore. Okay? Vent them. Like I'm telling you, it has to be a interrogation scene. After you've done interrogating her, interrogate her family. Like, do the Chinese water torture type shit. I don't know. You need to make sure that you're making the right choice, because in the end, it's on you if you got bamboozled. Okay, it's on you. And the audacity of the lady saying, "Oh, nice guys always win. Nice guys only." The only reason they're saying this, and I'm sure you guys already know, the only reason that they're saying nice guys always win is because they already know that once Chad and Tyrone toss them aside back into the streets, they're hoping that nice guys are on standby willing to pick up the remains. And he puts on his cape and fly away while he fixes all of her past issues, such as debt, not looking at her promiscuous past, being able to take care of her 5, 6 sons, and she can pretend to be holier than thou again. Don't do that, gentlemen. Don't do that. Nice guys always lose. That's the fact of life. All right, we good, Gray?
All good.
Okay. So, thank you guys for being in this live stream today. It was a very good conversation. Anybody that still wants to donate, go ahead. I'm going to put the links into the comments below. I definitely can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was going out. We did a 7,000 sub special 6 days ago, and I'm already closing in at 7,500. Like it is insane. And I guarantee you by next week or a week and a half, we'll already be at 8,000. Like I still can't believe I'm getting this far, but I'm gonna keep it pushing, keep it moving, and definitely give you guys your daily memes, daily dose of the red pills, the shorts, and I'm gonna see if I can add even more, right? Because I kind of slacked off for the last few days with the what videos. I'll bring that back today. Don't worry about it. But the bigger the audience, I'm gonna see if I can create more content because it's going to get real. I already know. I don't want my channel to be just shorts. I want to give you guys a variety. So once again, thank you all you guys for the support because it's definitely showing on the channel. Thank you. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had a lot of gems dropped on you today. If you want to rewatch, you can go ahead and rewatch the live stream. It was a good conversation with just being Gray. And we are out. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.